Right, Mark Crossfield here, and I'm going to share with you my top 3 tips for getting the most from your custom fitting. I've been preaching for years now about making sure you go and get custom fit. Lots of people ask questions about fitting. These are my top 3 tips to bear in mind when getting custom fitted for your new golf equipment. Let's get stuck in. Right, number 1, this one is so key, and I see this certainly with male golfers who come for fits. It is not a long driving competition. There you go, I've put it out there. It's not a long drive competition. I see this guy coming for a fitting so often. Oh, how far's that?
That's gone 262.
What? Ugh, how far's that one?
Oh, this is awkward. This has gone 262.
What? 262? 262? That? How far's that one?
Oh, how embarrassing. 262.
Oh, that guy trying to beat himself on every shot. I see it so often, wanting to hit a certain distance. When you get custom fit, you've got to hit a hard one, a medium one, a soft one, a gaming shot. When I'm hitting clubs, when I want to, think about putting it in the bag, I'm going to hit one what I feel is full distance. I'm then going to hit one where I might even choke down on the club and do my little kind of in-play pat shot. I want to know how the club is going to perform in game. There is no point knowing how far your club goes at only max speed. You're not going to gain that shot. First tee, bit nervous. You're going to stand there and just cane it. So many people turn up for their custom fits. It's an ego-based, long distance thing. You want to be looking at direction. You want to be looking at how you feel with the club, and you want to try a selection of gaming shots. You're not always running at top speed. Second thing to bear in mind when you're getting custom fit, works for irons and drivers too, is I see lots of people send me data. Oh look, I've been on a launch monitor, what do you think of this data? Now for me, without strike information, so you can see this unit on the floor here, this is called HMT, head measuring technology. This unit is measuring where I'm striking the ball on the face. Now, if you are having a fit and strike is not being measured, in my opinion, you are not being measured. Now, launch monitors do it in different ways. Something like TrackMan will use an efficiency reading. It's called smash factor, and a good user of that machine will read that in to know that you've lost some ball speed through strike. If the smash factor goes up and down, you're gaining and losing if you drop down. So you don't just need HMT, but I like HMT best because it actually sees strike. I see this person in fits a lot. And it's hard sometimes. When I was fitting a lot, it was hard not just to go along with them. So I like these 2 drivers, but I like the Callaway better. But let's try it. So I'm going to try this Titleist one and hit a few shots. I've hit a few shots with this on the range. I do like it. It just doesn't feel like it's going as far. Go on, hit that. Okay, I think. How far's that gone?
250.
Yeah, it's a bit short, 250. I felt like I hit that okay. Again, felt fine. How far's that one?
252.
That's a bit short, that. Yeah, I do like the look of this one down by the ball. It feels like it's going to be long, powerful and long. Oh, I hit that really well, I think.
Oh, that's a bit better. 262.
Oh, it's long. I'll have that one. Now look, there's no problem that person liking a driver and going along with that because they're all quite similar, so that's not going to be the biggest issue. But they're going to get the same distance maybe out of the other one if it's fit correctly, if that strike's in the same place. If you are not working that strike in, as you can see from there, you're going to get some very interesting results. Now, strike is random. I can't tell you how I'm going to strike it before I hit it. I have a feeling what I want to do, but I don't always perform. So if you have a batch of 5 with each, 4 with club A, you hit not as good and 1 good one, and then club B, for some reason you hit 4 better middle struck ones and then 1 average one. It's going to average a further distance. Is that the club or is that your strike? If you're not working that in, people, I actually believe you're not really getting a true fit. So I think this is my most important thing to bear in mind, or tip for when you're getting fitting, and certainly one that I would advise when you're asking about your fittings. I personally, and I know good fitters around the world who say the same, a club fit for me is a lesson. It is no different. It's the same thing. The club fit gives me an opportunity to see how a club is being delivered by a person, stroke student, and then I can try and move a club to try and help that delivery, or I can talk about that delivery with the student, make sure they understand why they're getting the fit they're getting. So a very upright club, a flatter club, less loft, more loft, and talk to them and even try and demo with them to see if they're willing to change and how they take the change before just running in and fitting the club around a certain movement. I see this person a lot. I love these irons. They do go a little bit low, but I really like these irons. They're one of my favourite clubs. I just would like them to get a little bit higher. They don't really launch like I kind of want them. Maybe I need game improvement clubs, not the blades, but you know, I have the ball here which feels like in the middle. My grips feels nice and steady. I don't know why they just go so low, but I think I might get these. I like them. So what do you say to that guy? He wants a set of clubs. He's thinking a set of clubs is going to balance where his hold was, his ball was off his right foot, his handle at delivery. The clubs aren't going to do that bigger changes. The RNA won't allow that to happen. It has to be a lesson for that person as well. You're delivering on those shots 6 degrees of dynamic loft. There isn't a club in the world that could help you. We need to think about trying to get more loft. Whatever loft we can get you comfortable with, maybe we can build some clubs around there. A fit for me is a lesson. It's the same thing. If you come for a lesson with me and I see you using a 6-degree driver and complaining about hitting the ball low, first thing before I look at any of your technique is I'm going to be very wary that you're presenting a very low lofted club into that lesson. I want to measure your dynamic loft, and if that can be changed by moving it up to a 10, maybe that lesson is done, that player is fixed. It's a lesson as well as a fit. Try not to think of them just as selling opportunities when you're in there. That's often what people might be thinking. For you, you want to learn about you from your fits. Right, I put some questions out, or asked you to ask me some questions about fitting to try and help you get the most from your fittings. We got one here from Digby who says, what is the most underrated part of being fitted? Hashtag ask AGG. It's a good question. Most underrated part of being fitted for me is that, like I said there, it's the lesson part. It's an opportunity for you to learn about your swing and your delivery, as well as then what clubs can and can't do for you. It shouldn't be just an opportunity for someone to sell you some equipment, which is often what a fitting is kind of aimed at, I always feel. So for me, the most underrated part is people forget and don't even realise that they're going to maybe talk about what they do as well. Some people just want to talk about, you know, this shaft over that shaft, again, when delivering some pretty extreme numbers. Enjoy it as much as a fitting and learning about clubs as it is about learning about your delivery and your performance. Right, another good question. Wood Lane Florist. Hello, Wood Lane Florist. Hashtag ask AGG. If my irons have been shortened, does that automatically mean my drivers should be also? No. And yes, again, it's not as black and white. If your irons are shortened, it might be you get better strike patterns with a shorter iron. You're not so good at interacting with the ground, so a shorter iron might help you with that. There's no data that's very player specific, but that might be the case. I will always in a fit try and give a student the longest club I possibly can to get the most distance out for them. So I give them the longest club they can handle while still maintaining some strike. So you might feel maybe with a driver that's teed up where you're not interacting with the ground so much, you might have a very different angle of attack with your driver to your irons, which allows you possibly to have a full length or even longer club, where with your irons, because they're interacting with the ground, let's pretend that's not your skill, I don't know if it is or not, the shorter irons might be helping you get a better interaction with the ground. Just an example. So it's not black and white. I wouldn't say yes per se, but it's certainly something in fits I think that isn't experimented with enough length of driver. I think it's something that you could fitters could experiment with a lot more. Right, great question to finish from Kat on Facebook. Says, where do you go to get custom fitted? A lot of golf shops, stroke clubs I've been to that sell clubs don't look like they have someone there that would know how to do this. Interesting question that, and I kind of would agree with that. For me, and I say this to all my students, I would really only get a proper fit from someone I have lessons with, or someone I know who teaches with the tech. So they're not just fitting with the tech. I don't like that personally. I think they get a little bit into just selling club mode a little bit. You got to remember, custom fitting is a business for people, where a coach will be looking at trying to make your equipment and you as good as you can together. They'll look at it from both angles. For me, I would advise going to someone who uses good tech like GC2 HMT, so you can get some strike measured, but they teach with the piece of kit as well as fit with it, not just fitting. Just fitting for me, I'd be a little wary of. Just my opinion. Post comments down below, let me know if any of these people are you. Also, what's your best tip for getting fitting? What's the best thing you got when you went for a fit? Best information or most interesting thing you found out? Would love to hear. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, Periscope, all the normal social places. Also, come and visit my new website, markcrossfieldgolf.com. See you over there.